Some of you might have seen my earlier video where I talked about how I think Pikmin 4 is finally coming this October. And ever since I made that, I wanted to talk even more about Pikmin 4. I have a ton of ideas about the game, from story concepts to area design to new features and gameplay elements. But perhaps most exciting of all, ideas about what types of potential new Pikmin variants we could see in a fourth game. Today, I wanted to hone in on some of my best ideas and rough sketches for new Pikmin types. First up is Mole Pikmin. These little ones are colored brown and are about the same size as a red Pikmin. They're called Mole Pikmin because of their mole-like cheeks, snout, and nose. These Pikmin excel at digging. Their small, sharp claws and the frills on the sides of their face help them navigate underground through the dirt. They can actually move faster underground than above it, and that leads us to their key attribute. When thrown, if a Mole Pikmin lands on a surface it can burrow under, it will travel underground a short distance in the same direction it was tossed. This is useful to get Pikmin past certain unbreakable walls or obstacles. For example, I envision using Mole Pikmin to bury under an indestructible wall to reach a pressure switch on the other side that will lower the wall and allow the captain through with the rest of the Pikmin army. As you can imagine, Mole Pikmin are also extremely useful for digging up items. They are by far the best diggers out of all Pikmin, even beating out the previous record holder's White Pikmin. Now introducing my second new Pikmin species, Green Pikmin. Green Pikmin thrive in the sunlight. This makes them the tallest known Pikmin species, so they can stretch up and get the most rays. They are a deep green color and have a long, pointed nose just like a red Pikmin. Their limbs are made of entangled vines, which make them exceptionally flexible. On top of their heads are pieces of a broken clay flower pot. The pot is intact when they are just sprouts, but it shatters into shards once they're plucked from the ground. These Pikmin have a unique ability to help other plants grow around them in just a matter of seconds. Certain dead trees or flowers might obstruct your path, but Green Pikmin can help these plants flourish, helping to create new ways forward or reveal items that were hidden. For example, tossing Green Pikmin at a dead tree will cause it to grow lush vines that the captain will then be able to cross. Or swarming a large enclosed flower bud with a Green Pikmin army will cause it to open up, revealing a hidden item inside. Also, greens can take advantage of areas where the sunlight is particularly strong, as here, they will instantly grow into flower Pikmin without the need for any nectar. If sprouted from the onion, they will grow into flowers in just a matter of seconds. Green Pikmin are also commonly used in battle as they are good fighters, just about on par with the combat ability of red Pikmin. Next on my list are these little orange ones, the Scurry Pikmin. Scurry Pikmin are the first Pikmin species discovered to have more than 2 legs. In fact, they actually have 6. They are tiny little creatures, just about the same size as a winged Pikmin, and they have large ears, slightly resembling a yellow Pikmin. Despite their size, their legs are pure muscle, making them extremely fast. They're the fastest movers in the Pikmin kingdom by a long shot, as they're always walking slightly ahead of the rest of the Pikmin group. They are the best at retrieving items and carrying them back to the ship in as little time as possible. Putting a group of all Scurry Pikmin on an item is the fastest way in the entire game to retrieve something. They actually carry things with their 2 front legs and move using the other 4. Even though they are strong creatures, they aren't natural fighters, so it's not advised to use them in battle. However, being fast isn't their only attribute. The velocity of a Scurry Pikmin's feet actually generates an electric charge. This makes them useful for powering certain electronic devices and even illuminating caves as they're constantly sparking. The downside of this, however, is they will instantly vaporize when hit by even a single drop of water. So be careful when using Scurry Pikmin by oceans or lakes, and keep them away from any enemies that can spray water, unless you want to lose them quickly. One of the strangest brand new Pikmin types is the Spotted Pikmin. Spotted Pikmin are a newly discovered species that evolved as a hybrid plant between Purple Pikmin and a Queen Candy Pop bud. You know, the ones with the spots. You can clearly see from the image that the Spotted Pikmin have the size and body of a Purple Pikmin, but they're colored white like a Queen Candy Pop, and they're covered in purple colored polka dots. Due to their Candy Pop genetics, these Pikmin are unaffected by most hazards, which makes them extremely versatile types to have in your group. Another key attribute of Spotted Pikmin is that they are incapable of making any sounds, and their plush bodies absorb even the sounds of their own footsteps. This is an advantage as it makes them a great choice to use when sneaking around dangerous areas. If you want to carry back an item that's guarded by strong enemies, perhaps a large sleeping Bulborb for example, then instead of fighting, sneaking it out using a group of spotted Pikmin might be the best option. Sneaking through the foliage around a group of enemies using only spotted Pikmin will give you a great chance of not being spotted yourself, if you know what I mean. Spotteds are very meek and shy creatures however, and they like to stay out of the spotlight. This makes them, despite their large size, very weak fighters as well, so it's best to rely on other Pikmin types for combat. And finally, the last new Pikmin type I want to talk about here is the Gust Pikmin. Gust Pikmin might be the strangest looking Pikmin type ever discovered. These tall, big-bottomed Pikmin are easy to point out of a crowd due to their light blue coloration, pointy ears, massive purple eyes, and large protruding belly button. Gust Pikmin have the same hypnotic stare that white Pikmin do, and their circular, trumpet-like mouths make it look like they're constantly in a state of shock. These mouths serve an important purpose though. Their giant bellies allow them to suck up huge gusts of air and blow it out with extreme force. Because of this and the similar coloration, many Pikmin researchers think that the Gust Pikmin might have descended in some way from the puffy blowhog. Gust Pikmin can be a great help in solving environmental puzzles. Once they're thrown, if there's something in the area they're able to blow on, they will lock onto it and blow air non-stop. The more Gust Pikmin in the group, the stronger the air will be. This can be used to open new mechanical gates that require blowing on a fan or pinwheel to open. Also, Gust Pikmin can help carry groups of other Pikmin across a body of water by blowing on the sail of certain rafts. Also, aside from solving wind-based puzzles, they are able to put out small fires, and they can blow on certain trees to knock out berries and nectars nestled in their branches. So how are these Pikmin ideas? I think they're pretty good myself, but give me a pulse on how you like them in the comments down below. I have plenty more Pikmin type ideas too, so let me know if you have any interest in seeing those in another video down the line. As always, thanks for watching everyone, and stay tuned for more quality Pikmin and Nintendo content.